The following is produced by 5 Star Productions USA, which is solely responsible for its editorial content, and is sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Haircare.
Junk mail. It is an unwelcome part of our daily trip to the mailbox. If 100,000 of us stopped or recycled our junk mail, we could save 150,000 trees each year. You can help by indicating to your credit card companies, local charities, and magazine publishers that you do not want your name and address to be on other mailing lists. I'm Ed Begley Jr. Join me this week as Today's Environment explores this and other solutions to our environmental problems.
Today, City Council
gas,
in effect with 9,000
reducing air
supermarkets
pollutants by
recycling a milestone.
80%. Educational programs.
Delivering 5 gallons of drinkable water in our homes only to have it flushed down the toilet just doesn't make any sense. There are now many low-flush toilets that use only 1 gallon of water to accomplish the same result. Next, we'll see some new advances in other waste treatment and management practices.
Today, the population of the United States is over 230 million people. Urbanization has put tremendous pressure on our sewage treatment facilities and the disposal of sludge, a byproduct of the treatment process. This situation is so serious that the U.S. government has moved boldly in an effort to correct it. They have federally mandated a ban on the disposal of sludge through ocean dumping. In Rhode Island, the New England treatment company, NETCO, is addressing this concern. In the Northeast, where they operate, more than 10,000 tons of sludge are generated each day, enough to cover an entire football field to a depth of 15 feet. New government regulations, coupled with the region's largely out-of-date treatment plants and landfill closings, are complicating the problem. NETCO's mission is to develop and operate facilities providing waste disposal services to municipalities and industries. By doing this, they match customer needs with environmentally appropriate technologies. The cornerstone of their business is the Woonsocket, Rhode Island treatment plant. Sludge from the area's municipal sewage plants is processed here using thermal conversion, a process that reduces the volume of sludge by 95%. This state-of-the-art facility uses combustion along with conventional and advanced pollution control systems to achieve an energy-efficient and environmentally sound disposal alternative. The resultant ash is odorless, inert, and non-toxic, making it a safe cover for landfills or as an additive for construction materials such as cement blocks or asphalt. Heat from the sludge disposal process can be used to generate steam to drive a turbine, which produces cheap electricity. Not only can enough power be generated to meet the facility's internal needs, but excess electricity can be fed back to the local utility company for use by the host community. This efficient use of the energy can lower operating costs for the company and save precious reserves of fossil fuels like oil, coal, and natural gas. In addition to their success with thermal conversion, NETCO is looking at other technologies for the future. 2 areas being actively pursued are composting and pyrolysis. Familiar to many gardeners, composting is a process that uses natural bacterial destruction of organic materials to produce a natural fertilizer. The composting of sludge to make a product for soil enrichment is in the infancy stage. Pyrolysis is another emerging technology. It generates heat from a chemical reaction within the sludge. This heat can be tapped and used to generate steam, which in turn can be used to make electricity. Recycling of sludge with new technologies will take a material that is today considered a waste and turn it into a useful resource. Through regional planning and cooperation within the community, these and other technologies can be used to provide economic and environmentally safe solutions to waste problems.
Who would imagine homeowners using 10 times more toxic chemicals per acre than farmers use in their crops? Well, they do. Many of these chemicals end up in neighboring bodies of water, and much of this water is meant for us to drink. Today's environment learned of alternative solutions to this common household problem.
When common household garbage and industrial waste are placed in a landfill, they become the basic ingredients for a witch's brew, something the waste management professionals call leachate. This indescribable byproduct of all landfills is created when rainwater filters down through the pile of rotting garbage. As the water percolates down, it's joined with small amounts of various oils, acids, and other chemical compounds that are squeezed out of the refuse by the sheer weight of the mound. This is combined with traces of heavy metals such as lead. Together, all of these things combine to form a toxic brew that could become an environmental time bomb. If allowed to follow its natural flow, leachate will seep into underground water. From there, it would go on to pollute streams, rivers, and lakes. But most importantly, it would find its way into our supply of precious drinking water. There are companies like U.S. Filter Corporation that are doing something about this serious problem. With its Lancy landfill leachate treatment systems, it is a proven leader in developing new technologies to deal with these problems. The most exciting of these technologies uses microorganisms to biologically treat leachate. The process is based on microscopic bugs with big appetites. With billions and billions of these microorganisms in a biological treatment system, they simply eat the toxic wastes and reduce it to carbon dioxide and water. In reality, the biological treatment process is very complex. Sophisticated laboratory studies are used to determine what toxic chemicals are appealing to the various types of microorganisms. Working closely with the operators of a landfill, the company cultivates microorganisms in a fixed film biotower to deal with the leachate at the particular site. In this case, the Cumberland County landfill at Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. This treatment plant, which is located next to the landfill, employs both biological and chemical treatment of the leachate. Through collection pipes under the lined landfill, the black leachate is drawn off by gravity, then sent to a pre-treatment system to remove any metals that might be present. In the next stage of processing, chemicals are added to adjust the acidity and alkalinity, something chemistry students should remember as pH. Further conditioning of the leachate takes place by adding billions of microorganisms from a bioseeder into the brew. With their boundless appetites, they go to work on the two biotowers, degrading all of the toxic organic materials into carbon dioxide and water. The constant flow of leachates through the biotowers sustains the microorganisms so that they continue their work. In the final stage of processing, more chemicals are added to again balance the pH, and the solids are removed from the water. The solids are then disposed of safely, and water is discharged into a nearby creek. This innovative technology has proven itself to be a reliable and cost-effective method for treating leachate. Just a few short years ago, it would have been difficult for most of us to even imagine that microscopic organisms would be helping to clean up our environment. But now, when you think about it, it's really quite natural. Mother Nature has been doing this since the dawn of time.
Did you know that it takes just one atom of chlorine from common household bleach to destroy up to 1 million molecules of the Earth's ozone layer? Here's a look at another contribution helping prevent further ozone depletion.
Many scientists attribute depletion of the ozone layer to the release of certain chemicals into the atmosphere. Chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs as they're called, are thought to be the most damaging. Some scientists warn that continued depletion of the ozone layer, which protects us from the harmful radiation of the sun, will cause an increase in skin cancer and cataracts. In 1987, 24 countries agreed to a 50% reduction in the use of CFCs by 1999. Recent amendments, however, call for a complete phase-out by the year 2000. Northern Telecom, a global communication, is taking an individual initiative in the reduction of CFCs. They are the world's leading supplier of fully digital telecommunication switching systems and sells its products in 90 countries. Fulfilling a public pledge it made in 1988, the company was 9 years ahead of the international mandate to remove CFC 113 from its 55 worldwide manufacturing plants, including those in Canada, the United States, Europe, and Asia Pacific. Pulling in people and resources from its worldwide manufacturing operations, their goal was not to be a polluter. Although the international mandate was to phase out CFC use by the year 2000, the company was determined to beat that deadline. Initially, it considered non-ozone depleting chemicals as a CFC substitute for cleaning printed circuits. It was decided they could do even better, so a bold step was taken to turn its vast resources toward the development of a process that didn't require any chemicals for cleaning. It's what they call no-clean manufacturing. However, developing this no-clean technology was only the first step. Before it could be put into production, the company had to demonstrate that its products were still as reliable as ever. To do this, they subjected their no-clean manufactured products to exhaustive testing. The results were spectacular. Not only had they been able to completely eliminate CFCs, but they saved millions of dollars in the process. In an unprecedented move, the company then offered to share what it had learned about non-CFC manufacturing operations with other corporations and governments. The offer was even extended to its competitors. In working with the EPA, they published the Manual of Practices to Reduce and Eliminate CFC 113 use in the electronics industry. The company then joined with AT&T, the EPA, and 13 other electronics companies to form the Industry Cooperative for Ozone Layer Protection. It serves as a clearinghouse for the free exchange of information about reducing and eliminating the use of CFCs in the electronics industry. To facilitate the spread of this information, Northern Telecom developed and donated OzoNet, an online computer database to the cause. Accessed with a personal computer through a local phone call, OzoNet is now available in 750 cities in 35 countries around the world. For its leadership role, Northern Telecom received the prestigious EPA Stratospheric Ozone Protection Award in 1991 and the UN Environmental Program Award for North America in 1992. Their accomplishment proves that large corporations can help each other to make a difference and that the results do not have to be costly. While the threat from holes in the ozone layer still exists, aggressive and innovative programs like No Clean Manufacturing offer hope for the future.
United States industry generates more than 12 billion tons of waste each year. While over 90% of that waste is non-hazardous, the remaining 10% has to be dealt with. Next, we'll investigate new technology in the disposal of medical waste.
Although medical waste is still a small part of the overall solid waste problem, the amount generated in the United States is growing at a staggering rate. In 1990, the Government Accounting Office reported that there were more than 1 million medical waste generators in the country. This includes all hospitals, clinics, labs, blood banks, private medical offices, and veterinary facilities. The Environmental Protection Agency believes that 3.2 million tons of medical waste are produced annually. In addition, there has been recent increase in the amount of medical waste from police and paramedic units. As a matter of standard procedure, when treating accident victims, they now use disposable gloves as a precaution against possible exposure to bacteria and viruses. Dentists and other healthcare workers who didn't use protective garments in the past are now using disposable products for the same reason. For the most part, they're being disposed of in small incinerators which are owned and operated by the facilities that they serve. Currently not subject to any federal regulations, many of these incinerators have little or no air pollution control equipment and are of obsolete or inadequate design to deal with today's demands. And as regulations become more stringent, the amount of waste requiring special treatment and processing will certainly increase. National Medical Waste Incorporated, headquartered in Nashville, Tennessee, is taking a proactive leadership position in dealing with this problem. The company, which was founded in 1989, operates regional medical waste facilities in Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Texas, with numerous others planned for the future. They operate under contracts and provide full services to companies that generate medical waste. As part of the service, the company makes scheduled pickups of sealed packages at each of its customer sites. Since it uses its own trucks and drivers, they're able to maintain complete control of all medical waste they're handling. Each step of the operation is documented with a computer system. This type of management assures the client and the public of proper and complete disposal. Barcodes, which are similar to those on store products, provide a method for identifying and tracking the waste through the system. The barcodes on each package identify the source and type of material, as well as the date and lot number. With this information, the computer is able to prepare all of the required reports to comply with various state regulations. Disposal of medical waste material can be accomplished using either incineration or steam sterilization. However, the company chose to use incineration because it destroys the medical waste, rendering it harmless. Incineration reduces the material's volume by 95%, thereby saving precious space in sanitary landfills. A dual-chambered incinerator operating at temperatures above 1800 degrees Fahrenheit is loaded by an automatic feed system which reduces handling of the waste. The leftover ash is stored in a secure area and later placed in a sanitary landfill. In addition, each incinerator has a wet scrubber on the exhaust to neutralize acids, which, if released untreated, might contribute to acid rain. Clearly, we cannot prevent people from getting sick or injured. And as long as we undergo treatment, there will be medical waste. But the technology developed by National Medical Waste for handling, tracking, and disposing of this waste offers hope and a solution to this problem. By safely disposing of this waste, we will not contaminate our environment, now or in the future.
Over the course of a year, each of us use an average of 200 pounds of plastic. Approximately 60% of all this plastic is for packaging. We visited a place to find out how packing material is being made more environmentally safe.
Many American companies are faced with a problem. In trying to comply with various environmental regulations, they're sometimes faced with increased operating costs. Some companies look at this as a dilemma, while others take it as a challenge. When environmental concerns surfaced about the depletion of the ozone layer, many companies took action to eliminate the use of CFCs, or chlorofluorocarbons. They found ways to satisfy environmental concerns without sacrificing quality. Amitek's microfoam division, located in northeastern Kentucky, produces a lightweight polypropylene foam packaging material that eliminates CFCs as a blowing agent in their manufacturing process. This foam is used for a variety of protective applications. For example, furniture manufacturers are beginning to use the couch pouch made from this material in place of a heavy paper bag or a corrugated carton as a protective cover. And because of its durability, it can be reused many times, which reduces costs and saves landfill space. Growers use it as a cushioning layer in cartons of fruit and vegetables on their way to market. And electronics companies use it to protect computer components and printed circuit boards during shipment. Not only does it provide cushion, but it provides anti-static protection for delicate integrated circuits. Among other things, it is used as a cover material for underground natural gas and oil pipelines. This non-porous rock guard material protects the coating on buried pipe against nicks and scratches during backfill operations, thereby reducing rust and corrosion to extend the life of the pipeline for many years. Composed of about 50,000 tiny air cells per cubic inch, the foam itself weighs 0.6 of a pound per cubic foot. This low density is a major factor in material source reduction, another important conservation measure. In other words, it uses far less raw materials to manufacture than other comparable paper or plastic-based products. However, in spite of all its benefits, including the fact that 90% of CFC-based blowing agents in manufacturing were already being recovered, the company wanted to do even better. In 1988, they embarked on a $5.2 million development program to make microfoam more environmentally effective. After more than 3 years in development, the company not only completely eliminated the use of CFCs, but is now recovering and immediately reusing up to 99% of the components in its new non-CFC-based process. In addition, they have started a post-consumer recycling program. It pays a 10-cent per pound rebate to industrial users, converters, and furniture companies for returning the used material. Amitek has proven that to be more environmentally responsible, it may require new technology and a substantial investment. But the net result can make a major contribution to helping the environment by achieving true source reduction and wide-scale reusability.
Did you know that household items like automotive products, paint, and even many cleaners may be considered hazardous waste? Pouring them down drains can contaminate neighborhood drinking water and kill helpful microorganisms in septic systems. Today's environment found a way water is being made safer to drink.
Clean drinking water is something most Americans take for granted. Many people still drink the water straight from the tap with little regard for its purity and safety. In urban areas, people have put their trust in the local utility which treats the water and the federal government which sets the standards for water purity. In areas where it comes from private wells, things are a little different. In these rural settings, everyone is responsible for testing and, if necessary, treating their own water supply. However, pollution from industry and agricultural runoff is causing more people to think twice before they drink water directly from the tap, regardless of its source. In addition, a lot of people are taking preventative measures by using alternate sources for their drinking water. These sources include water that is delivered to the home in large jugs, bottled water from the store, and purified water from vending machines. A purification system is yet another way to have cleaner, safer drinking water. Pura, a company located in Provo, Utah, is a manufacturer of modular water purification systems for the home and office. Compact units can be installed on a countertop or under a kitchen sink. Larger units can be installed at the point where the water line enters the house. An ultraviolet light and patented UV transparent sleeve in these units disinfects the water. The new technology in these systems does more than simply filter the water. They also exceed U.S. Department of Health standards for ultraviolet water treatment equipment. Without the use of any added chemicals, ultraviolet purification systems kill 99.9% of the bacteria, viruses, and other microorganisms in the water. In addition to disinfecting the water, these purifiers incorporate a carbon block filter to remove chemicals and sediment. This helps to improve the taste and clarity. There are many factors that contribute to the purity and safety of drinking water. The most recognizable problems are those that concern the clarity, odor, and taste. When it is cloudy or has a color to it, the problem is immediately visible. Sometimes when the water looks clear, it can still have an objectionable odor or taste. A good example of this is water that has sulfur or other minerals in it. According to federal water standards, these problems are not necessarily a health risk. Water that looks, smells, or tastes bad can in some instances be declared safe to drink. And indeed, it may be safe because the really serious threats to water come from the things that can't always be seen, smelled, or tasted. The most dangerous contaminants in water include trace amounts of toxic chemicals and harmful bacteria. They can only be detected through detailed laboratory analysis, and not all are harmful to people. Water can also be contaminated while in the pipes, many miles away before it reaches the tap. There are risks of drinking contaminated water because of pollution, and people are looking for alternate sources. A home purification system is another way to a healthier environment.
Edmund Burke, a British philosopher, once said, "Nobody made a greater mistake than he who did nothing because he could only do a little." If every American recycled a 4-foot stack of paper each year, we could save almost 250 million trees. And fixing one leaky toilet can save more than 50 gallons of water a day. That's over 18,000 gallons a year. A little can mean a lot. Hi, I'm Ed Begley, Jr. Join me next week as we explore more environmental solutions on Today's Environment.
This has been a presentation of 5 Star Productions USA. The preceding program was sponsored in part by a grant from Paul Mitchell Salon Haircare.